Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we join together in my office or my craft room or my stamping room or whatever you want to call it, and I call it my stamping pad because isn't that cute? Well anyway, and we make a card together. Today's card is a fun flip it that says happy birthday to you, happy, 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 and it has lots and lots of triplet hexagons on it, which is really, really fun. And we use my sprays. Now I know a lot of you have asked me to do some videos on the sprays, so here's one for you, yay. And this one is just lots of fun because I love the colors, they're just so much fun. Let's do this card together. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get out the necessary supplies. You might have a lot of these already. If you don't, you can go to our website where you're watching this video and click down below all the products that are in this video, and you can purchase them, then we can do the card together. But hopefully you have some of them already. So the first product we're going to be using, of course, is the square flip it card. This has 12 dies, but don't be overwhelmed with 12. Just know that we're going to use the 3 largest dies in the kit. Then, now this looks funny, doesn't it? This is the hexagon triplets. Now, I don't have a real version of the hexagon triplets. I just have what they send to me, and this is my little variation of it, so I just keep it in my little container here. We're also going to be using some of the stamps from Ribbon Banners to Stamp. So that's that one there. We're also going to be using Happy to Be Circles stamp set. And we're going to be using some sprays and we're going to have lots of fun. Are you ready? Get set, let's go. The first thing we're going to do is grab our die cut machine and we're going to die cut the card base. Now I always die cut the card base first just because that's how I do things and that's how I like to prepare and plan. So we're going to grab the card base, it's the largest one in the kit. And we're going to get some cardstock and we're going to cut this out of blue. We're going to line that up, and I notice mine is cut just right. We're going to line that up right there. Now we don't want any speed bumps, so we're definitely going to make sure we skew that by staying on our platform. See these 2 points? Stay on your platform, but make it a little crooked because that's going to give you a better cut. Now I am using a smaller cutting pad. I'm using pink because pink is the best color in the world. But I like that it's pink because I can always find it on my table when I'm crafting. So we're going to pull that out, pop this out. So there's my card base. I'm going to put that off to the side. And then I'm going to cut the layering pieces. Now the layering pieces are the next 2 largest in size. I'm going to lay those down. And because I'm just using cardstock, I can lay these any which way I want, just like that. And I'm going to run those through. Easy peasy, easy peasy, run those babies through. Ugh. Any cracking you hear, of course, you know is normal, right? I get emails about that all the time. That is normal. That's the blade going through the cutting pad. Then what we're going to do, we're going to move those off to the side, kind of get them out of my way so they're not in my way. I need to die cut some of the triplets. Now, one thing I want you to notice, and I'm sure you probably can't see it from home, but if you can kind of see how my cutting pad is starting to bow this way or bowl this way, it's starting to curve a little, ever so slightly. You can probably barely even tell, but I can push it down and I can see it moving. What to do? I'm going to flip it. All you have to do is flip it over. You always want to cut into the curve or into the bowl, okay? So I'm going to cut into it like this. I'm going to lay my cardstock down and I'm going to get out some of my triplets. Now, since we are going to add this to our card, I'm going to get smart and think ahead, and I'm going to add some Sizzix adhesive to the back. That way, when I trim these, when I layer these, I don't have to worry about trying to add adhesive to them. Now, I don't think my samples have this, but you're smarter than me at home, and you're going to already have this done. So we add that adhesive. So this turns any piece of, let's get this extra piece off. Any paper, it turns into a sticker. So now we don't have to worry about adhesive. So we're going to add that right there, kind of trim that off a little because we don't want any stickies. And just a heads up, and I know it's hard to see, my adhesive ends right here. I'm going to trim this because knowing me, I will put a die there and then I'll be sad that it doesn't have a backing on the back. So now let's add all of our hexagons. Yeah. Is that right? Hexagons, yeah. Now I do need quite a few for this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But I just throw a whole bunch on there. So we're just going to throw a whole bunch on there at once. And we would just want to make sure that we have a lot. Now I probably have at least 2 kits in here. So yours might not have this many dies. I can kind of warn you about that right now. I have lots. I happen to know the people that make them. So I get extras, but you can just run yours through twice and you'll be fine, no worries. So I think that's probably quite a few, enough. But remember, I have that Sizzix adhesive on the back. I don't want to waste any of that. I'm going to get smart about this, and I'm going to move these much closer together. As long as they don't overlap, I'm okay. And I can even get fancy and do something like this. Watch this. Look at that. Now I'm making my own die. That big die is going to have that cut out of it. So I want to make sure I save some of my Sizzix adhesive for another project. So look at that. Look at, oh, and you know what? Let's even get smarter and add another one right there. Look at that. Look at how much extra adhesive I will have for another project. And I have a bucket over here. I keep it in there. Anything with Sizzix adhesive on the back, it's in there for later use. Now I'm going to run this through. Simple, easy peasy. Crack, 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 crack. Hear all the cracking? That's of course normal, right? Because that blade has to go somewhere, so it's going to go into your cutting pad. Now I have all of these great pieces. Pop these out, and if I need to, I can use either my roller or my paper piercer, and because this is a small die, I'll just use a paper piercer to pop those out. Now, how am I going to get these colored? Well, let me share that with you. We are going to spray these, and I've already done this because I have to have it dry, but I want to show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to leave those pieces in there. So we have all of these pieces. I'm going to move this off to the side. I'm going to get a handy dandy box. Isn't this crazy? It's just an extra box. The funny thing is it really is an Ellison box. It's something, what do they do? What is this? Oh, it's something they shipped to me for samples. So we're going to take all of these little pieces, and this is perfect for extra boxes that you might have in your garage. Ken loves to say boxes. I like to tease him and say he's a box hoarder because he loves to say boxes. And the one time I finally made him get rid of all of his box collection from our garage, like 2 months later, we decided to buy a house and we moved. Go figure, right? So then he's learned not to listen to me. So now he saves every box imaginable. Imagine our warehouse. Lots of boxes. Okay, so look at all these cute little pieces that I have. And I'm just kind of poking these out, and I'm laying them in different spots. And I have others cut out, so I'm just going to throw these in here for now. So I'm going to move these off to the side, around and around, and then I'm going to spray them. Now, there's no right or wrong way to spray. Just make sure you protect your surface. So I'm going to spray over there, spray over there, spray over there. Okay, that's one. Now I only have 2 colors on my table here. I don't know why I don't have all of them, but we're going to spray over here, spray over here, spray over there. There's no wrong way, and there's nothing that says I have to use all of these. So pick and choose when you're done the ones you like the best. So those look, oh, we'll give that one a little bit more. So you don't have to do a whole bunch. One time I did a class and I said, okay, now spray your paper. And they came back, because I put them off to the side, and they sprayed their paper, and it was white cardstock, and it came back 100% red. Well, that's not exactly what I was thinking. So when I teach spraying now, I say you don't want to saturate your paper, you just want to decorate your paper. So for example, and this is going to be a little wet, but look at that. That's more than done. That is fine. We don't need more than that. And we can also add another color. So if I wanted to come back in and add some yellow, and I got ink all over me, but I can add some yellow, I can add other colors as well. You can layer your colors. So I'm gonna put those off to the side to dry. So luckily I have some that are already done. Oh, there's a spider in there. Kenny, there's a spider. Ah, I hate spiders. Kenny, come get the spider. Okay, he's yelling, he's coming. Okay, now I'm gonna be worried all day that spider's over there. I'm sorry. Okay, so unprofessional. Oh, yuck, I hate spiders. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting our card together. I'm so flustered now because I hate spiders that much. So we'll get our adhesive and we'll add our adhesive. And we are just going to add this to our card, easy peasy, just like that. Now, here's a hint. I noticed that I have a little kind of icky right there. And I probably did that when I got ink all over myself. That's okay, because what we can do is just cover that with one of our hexagons and no one will know except you and me. So we're gonna layer this here. And then here is a tip. Never, ever, ever. I'm gonna say that again. Never, ever, ever. I sound like a mom, don't I? Never, ever, ever decorate the center of your flippets until you have folded it, because you never know what's the center, what's the front, and what's the inside until after you've folded it. So we're gonna fold it in half towards us on those score lines that the die created. take the top flap and fold that up and then turn it to the left because the little side is always on the left. LL little left. Now we know what the front is, and now we can decorate the front. So we're going to get one of our little squares and we're going to say, happy birthday to you. Now the fun thing about this stamp set is it's all, let's see if I can find a block that's a good size. It's all separate stamps because technically you could put it, let's see, can you see that? Technically you would put those stamps in that banner. We're not using the banner, we're just using the stamps. So we're gonna take the word happy, and the easiest way to do this is to lay it out just like this on the product that you want to stamp. That way you can make sure it's gonna all line up perfectly. Then, and I've already done this, I already know that it lines up perfectly, but if you didn't know, this is what you would wanna do. 2, and it makes it look like I'm stamping it directly on there so I can read my stamps perfect, and it's very warm in here so they're sticking to me a little. And to you. And we're gonna lay that down. Now you'll notice that it's not very lined up very well, but if I use my fingers, it'll just kind of mess it up. So what I like to do is use my paper piercer that came with my secret weapon, line that up, move this over just a little. So now you can kind of play with it. Don't poke your stamps, but you can easily move your stamps safely by doing this. So then I can move that 2 in just a little. Looking good. This is much easier to do it this way than on your block, because if you do it on your block, you're like, okay, then you have to flip it and look at it and flip it again and look at it. This way, just line it up on your paper. That looks good. Now, of course, the back of the stamp is up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my block, lay it on top, lift it up, and I'm ready to go. My block is perfectly ready to go. Now we're going to ink this, and I need to give you a heads up. This is the first time I've used this stamp set because I get new ones quite a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to find some cardstock scratch paper and we're going to stamp on that first. That way we get any of the extra residue off. We're going to just stamp it. Please don't use sandpaper on my stamps. Please don't use, I've heard people say, oh, an eraser. No, you don't need to do any of that. You just need to stamp it once on regular paper or cardstock or trash, or I just use scratch paper, and then you're going to stamp directly onto your project. Using the secret weapon below you, and I messed up a little. We didn't get that very good. Let's do that again. Now, I could turn it over, but I have another one. See, not even me, not even I am perfect all the time. So we're gonna ink that baby up. And we're gonna stamp it again. When we stamp it, we always wanna make sure that we press on the back of the stamp. And I have a feeling that's where I messed up. Press on the back of the stamp and then lift up, and there we go, perfect. Then we are going to let that dry for half a second. Now we could add some little ink, little goodies there. Now remember my little hexagons. So we have our cute little hexagons, and we're gonna unfortunately have to add adhesive to the back of these because these do not have adhesive on them. My samples did not, but the ones I showed you did. So we're gonna add that. Now these we just get to play with. We get to have fun, and we can add them any which way we want. We could even layer them if we wanted to, but let's just add that one there. This is the fun part. Just get to decorate. And you can decide, oh, maybe I don't like that one, or oh, maybe I don't like this one. Now, any extras you have, put back in your envelope for another project. Maybe you use it for something else, and that's perfect because you'll always already have it, and you won't have to die cut it and spray it again. So let's add this one. And let me just add one more because I know you don't need to see me add adhesive all day long. Okay, then let's add our cute little happy birthday to you. Oh, don't do it on your secret weapon. Practice what I preach, right? So we're gonna add that. And then on the inside, we're gonna add our cute little happy, happy, happy. And I already have that stamped because I kind of cheated a little. And we're gonna add this cute little pink flower because you cannot go wrong with pink flowers. But I love the look. It's almost like a tie-dye look, something a little different. Add the adhesive to the back of that one. Cute, cute. And to finish it off, we are going to add some ribbon. Now, a fun thing about the ribbon, this is our white seam binding. You can just do it as white, or you can kind of tie-dye it. Now, there's a couple different ways you can tie-dye it. My favorite way is to get a bag, drop it in, and do a little spray. Ever so lightly, sprinkle it around, move it around, kind of get some ink on it, just kind of bounce it around. So now I have a little bit of yellow, right? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of orange. Barely a spray though. You don't wanna do too much. You just don't need that much. And we're gonna sprinkle that around, move it around. Now I could also, if I wanted to, put this in my box and spray it that way, but I wanna make sure I absorb all of that ink. I don't wanna waste any of that ink. So I'm gonna sprinkle that around and move that around. Now I could add another color if I wanted to, but see how I can reuse that ink because the ink stays in the bag, so I can just reuse it over and over. Make sure I use all of that ink, so save it. I've already done one here, so here's this one. And we've just tied it around our cute little card. And we can double bow this or not, and I'm not going to for the sake of time. But look at how cute this is. So easy peasy. But now you get an idea of what you can do with the sprays. They are so fun. They can change the ribbon color, because I could have done white or I could have done colors to match, and I chose to do colors to match. So there's my card, easy peasy. Oh, we gotta add our stamp on the back. We have to have our personalized stamp on the back so people know that we made it, right? We need to get credit where credit is due. Stamp that baby. And we are done. So let's look at our finished project again. And you can see how cute that is. Happy birthday to you, and look at all that fun die cutting. I love it. Hexagon triplets are so much fun. And they're so versatile because you can also make our own with adding them on the inside. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Stephanie Stamp Pad. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.